Hi everyone! The first month of the new year is officially over, and it was surprisingly eventful for us. We not only added and updated over 50 new test reports in January, but we also gave the site a brand new look. We're very happy and proud of how it turned out, and we hope everyone in the community likes it too. This video will cover some of the highlights out of the new games added to our database, providing you footage of the disc and cartridge builds so you can see and decide for yourself if it's something worth picking up. Let's get right into it. Any proper release for a third-party game on Switch 2 is worth celebrating, even if it's not quite a perfect build. Unfortunately, Yuka Replay froze on us and crashed a total of 4 times during our test. We also encountered some minor issues on top of that, like objects in environment pop-in, muddy textures, a weird issue where the screen would flicker between light and dark on one occasion, an odd camera issue, and the game having trouble exiting the first-person mode. Whilst this is certainly not the ideal build for such a great remake, the game is far from unplayable here. Our tester was able to 100% the game in its entirety, so aside from some bumps in the road, Yuka Replay is complete on cart. Our test for the Series X and PS5 versions of the game showed those versions to be a bit more stable, but also involve a few of their own glitches. Check out all 3 reports on our website to gain more insight on which version of the game is best for you. Also, a huge thank you to PM Studios USA, who provided review copies for all 3 platforms. This is an interesting one. We now have tests for both the Switch and PS5 version of this game, and they are wildly different from each other. Whilst the PS5 disc seems to be very solid with only an occasional reload required to fix seemingly random issues, the Switch cartridge, which came out 2 years prior, is riddled with performance issues and bugs. The game will skip frames, frequently freeze, and has plenty of bugs on top of that. Our tester didn't even end up finishing the game because the build was near impossible to properly play. Needless to say, the Switch version should be completely avoided in favor of the disc build on PS5, published through Limited Legacy Games, who provided the review copy for this test. We don't often add PlayStation 3 games to the database simply because we are very focused on new and current gen releases. But the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 generation was the start of online updates and internet requirements, so we still find it important to occasionally look back and see how well preserved the 7th generation is. Thankfully, Katamari Forever is a prime example of a proper physical release, with no issues of any kind encountered. The game still plays as smoothly and looks as great as the day it originally came out. You just love to see it. The disc build for Ready or Not on PS5 seems to be a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, the game runs at a consistent 60 FPS, the DLC is on disc, and the main story is fully beatable with all trophies being obtainable on top of that. On the other hand, the game will get stuck and has to be restarted every time you fail a mission. There's some minor ragdolling, an occasional missing texture, and we even had a moment where our character got stuck holding a flashbang. Still, these issues won't ruin the entire experience. This is overall still a very solid disc build. Let's move over to a very good disc build as a palate cleanser. Broforce on PS4 has an excellent disc build. The only notable issues are some minor slowdowns in the final stages, and a one-time bizarre issue where the entire stage vanished, resulting in a game over that we were not able to replicate again. But aside from that, the game is fully beatable, the side missions are here, and the game is playable in co-op mode without any issues. Very much a game worthy of being in your collection. Earth to Atlantis' physical release is a flawless cartridge build. We tested this through Switch 2 backwards compatibility, which can sometimes add some additional minor problems to some games. But again, we had a super solid experience with this on Switch 2. The build that's present on the cartridge is the latest version of the game, and after doing our test, we don't think the game will ever see a new update either. Thank you to VG and iSoft for the review copy. This next game is an example of a Switch game being played through Switch 2 that seemingly added a minor bug due to the quirks of the backwards compatibility layer. During the final boss, the game froze all attack buttons and made the controller constantly rumble after getting hit. However, a reload of the game fixed this and it didn't happen again. This was pretty much the only issue we encountered throughout the entire game. It runs at 60 FPS for a majority of the time, and the game was fully completed. So this is yet another very good cartridge build. Thank you to Super Rare Games for the review copy. And let's end things with Escape Site 13 on PlayStation 5. We didn't encounter many issues on our first run of the game, but we did encounter some minor oddities in the flashback mode. Flashback adds some lag and some strange menu behavior. There seems to be some issues with the text boxes as well. In very rare cases, the text will start out in Chinese and then quickly fix itself to English. Some minor typos and odd spacing in the translation can be forgiven though. None of these issues are game-breaking though. At the end of the day, this is a good build with an occasional weird quirk. We would like to thank Limited Legacy Games once more for another review copy. Because we get so many additional reports to our database every month, we won't have time to go over each and every single one. So, for full written reports on these games, as well as the ones we couldn't fit in this video, you can go check out the database for yourself at the newly updated doesitplay.org. And if you don't want to miss any tests or just want to support our video creation efforts, our Patreon is the best place to do that. Click the link in the description to learn more. That is all we have for today. We hope we were able to give you a little more insight into the current state of physical games. Which of these games did you pick up, or are you planning to pick up? And let us know which physical games releasing in February you would like to see us cover. Until next month, everybody, bye bye.